So ladies, by the way, we have our mentor, our first mentor for the Aspiring Entrepreneurs Program Cohort 1. She's none other than the legendary Chigozie Bashua. As we sent her profile earlier, Chigozie is the CEO of the Not Place, and the business, she likes to call herself the business planning expert, because really she is. Her business plans have won lots of awards. She's developed business plans for hundreds and hundreds of people that have won a lot of investor funding and also grants. Chigozie is an information technology expert and a business continuity plan expert. She's my darling sister, like I like to call her. What I love most about her, with all her accomplishments, she's very down to earth, and she'll give it to you as it is. So Chigozie, over to you. Thank you so much for honoring our invite.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sis. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chigozie Bashua, and like she said, I'm a business planning expert. I also run a nut processing company called The Nut Place. We process edible nuts into healthy food products. Okay, so I like to give a background into how I went to entrepreneurship. I'm an IT expert. I've always been an IT girl since I left school, and I've done various aspects of IT. I still haven't left the IT world because it's one of the things I love doing. But I have graduated from being a core IT support staff to IT management. I do IT business continuity. I do IT projects, and I do various aspects of IT. Let's put it that way. I write business continuity plans for companies. And the reason is because I believe in contingency planning. I believe in planning as it is. And so my journey into entrepreneurship started, I've always been like a serial entrepreneur. I remember when I was in school, and, I went into shirt making. I made my mistakes then. I went into a lot of things, but I didn't think it had anything to do with owning a business. I was just doing it because I wanted extra bucks. However, leaving school and going into career and all that, it didn't strike me like, one, I did a bit of buying and selling. During my NYSC, I bought gold from Cardno. I sold in Lagos. I did all those buying and selling things. So that was what business was for me. Until in 2012, I went on a vacation, and I was going through the aisle. I went grocery shopping, and I was going through the aisle, and I saw that they had healthy food products that they had converted into different food, actually. And then it occurred to me that we have this in Nigeria, so why are we not doing it? And so that was for me, that was the click for me. And I thought about it, and I'm like, gluten-free products are really expensive in this country. And quite a number of people need gluten-free products in Nigeria. People are diabetic, but they still eat pounded yam, they still eat their gari and all that. And it occurred to me that, if we have to get food prices down, then we need to be doing it ourselves instead of importing it. And so that was the click for me. And then I went to a medium processing company, and I went to ask them to show me around their company, which gracefully they did. But that was what started the idea. However, I registered a business name. I was thinking, okay, what name should I give this company? And then I thought about the Nut Place. because I wanted to carve a niche in nut processing. And so December 2013. So all this idea was going on for a year plus. And then in December 2013, I registered the company. Now, prior to that, you know, I think I'd gotten to the stage where I wanted to do something for myself. And then I had been asking God that, okay, so what do I really want to do? And that was when it struck me that, oh, you identified the problem earlier and you had not done anything about it. And so I knew that was the go ahead for me. And I registered the company. Now, after registering the company, this business didn't start off until 2016. So in between 2013 and 2016, I did a lot of research. I did a lot of grant application. I had applied for some grants, which I didn't get. I started trying out recipes from my mother's kitchen and all that. You know, I'll go to work, come back, do a bit of research, do a bit of trial and error, give to friends to try out. They'll give me their feedback. And this went on for 3 years. Now in 2000, I had done the You Win. I think the last grant that really got me angry it wasn't the You Win. It was the You Win. So I had done the You Win and I felt, oh, I was going to get it. I did the first stage. I did the second stage. But after the second stage, that was it. I didn't get it. So I started thinking to myself so what could be the problem? And so that was how I went back to the drawing board and I had to go start my research again on what has gone wrong. Why am I not getting? It's not like I can't articulate, you know, what I want to do, you know, and that led me to study more about grant application, answering the questions, business planning, and all that. So a World Bank initiative came out and I was called and I was told, oh, you were part of the people that got into the You Win, that got to the second stage of You Win, that you should apply for this grant. And it was, they call themselves the Big Platform. It was a growth and empowerment scheme, an initiative of the World Bank. And so I applied with, of course, armed with my new knowledge. So I went to do my applications, and early 2016, I think it was, early 2016, they called me and said, oh, that I had been awarded a 6 million naira grant and for my initiative. But, you know, I needed to come to Abuja by March to sign the contract and all that. And that was how, you know, we went to Abuja March, signed it, and the money didn't come part of the money didn't come because they had to pay, they paid in 2 tranches. The money didn't come, the first tranche didn't come till July. And it was when the first tranche came out, that was when I was able to rent a factory, buy 1 or 2 machines, and that was how the nut place started. So the nut place started operations July 2016, and we started producing tiger nut flour, which was our maiden product. So in the course of doing all that, 2017, I applied for the Tony Elumelu Foundation Entrepreneurship program, and I got it. And then, of course, subsequently applied for other grants, you know, mentorship applications and all that. So, but I also noticed that a lot of people were having issues with their grant application. A lot of people were having issues with their business plan. And it wasn't because they just probably didn't know their business, but because they could not articulate properly what the business was all about. And so when I noticed that, I said, okay, what is it that you can do well? So I had spoken to my coach, and he asked me one question. He said, what can you do well? As in, when they wake you up, what is it that you can do? And I said, business planning. And he said, so you need to solve that problem. And that was how I went into the business planning field. But all along, I had also been writing contingency plans for the company where I work. I was writing their business continuity plans. So I thought about it, and then I did more research, I did more training, and then that was how I went into business continuity and business planning too. And I was doing it like a side hustle. So it was, I had my 9 to 5, I had my business, and then this was like another side hustle. So I was doing it until one day again, my coach said to me and said, you need to run this as a proper business, because you are solving problems for people. You're growing in this field. You need to structure it well as a business. And that was how I started it as a business. So that's the story of my business and my entry into business. So one of the reasons why this is happening is because of the business planning aspects of my life. And I tell people, business planning is not rocket science. However, you need to discard all you have heard before about planning your business. A lot of people have a closed mind when it comes to planning your business. One, they think it is a very extremely difficult. Two, a lot of people feel that once I start business, I should make money. My money should be rolling in like pure water within the first year and all that. You need to know that if you're going to build a long-lasting business, if you're going to build a legacy, your money may not even come in the first year. You're not building just because you want to make that million the first year. And that is what a lot of people need to, you need to tell yourself. Some businesses don't break even until their 10th year. So you need to ask yourself, what am I in business for? Am I in business only because of survival, or am I in business because I want to build something that will last? We like bringing up cliches. They'll tell you Coca-Cola sold only 25 bottles the first year, and they are still, yes, but you need to also look at the fact that in that year that they sold only 25 bottles, they were paying staff, they were paying rent, they were paying for technology, they were paying for so many other things, meaning they were running at a loss. But you see, when we make that cliche statement, we don't look at the other side, that these people were probably, they ran at a big loss and they did not give up. So you need to tell yourself that I'm in it for the long haul. So if you're in it for the short haul, if you're in it only just because you need to eat, then you might as well just do a buy and sell. And then when you are okay in terms of survival, that's it. But if you want to build a business that will last, one, you need to plan your business. So the first thing is, what is business planning? Business planning takes a holistic view. It is is a creatorial, I like to call it a creatorial process. I like to call it the process of creating your goals, your strategy, your vision, your mission, everything that has to do with your business. It is a creatorial process. So business planning is you sitting down and seeing the future in the now. Ask me how you see your future in the now. I am a dreamer. I like to dream. So, but in dreaming, I like to execute. They say the bane of entrepreneurs lie in execution. So, first, you dream. What this business, what is the vision for my business? Where do I want it to get to? You know, when we say what's the vision, the only thing that comes to mind, I want to be the best person. I want to be the best business in this. I want to be your go-to person. I want to be the hub, the person that you call on. I want to be a household name. But how do you get to become a household name? That's number one question. What is your vision? And I want to state that in defining the vision for your company, you need to define it from a futuristic point of view. Your vision is what you want to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, probably forever. So for small businesses, I tell them you want to start defining your business in 5 or 10 years. You don't, sometimes we like to copy the big businesses that are already established and say, oh, I want to be the best in, maybe I want to be the best fashion designer. You can't be the best fashion designer. Reason, where are you located? Are you the best? You can't be the best fashion designer in the world. You need to tailor it to something. Do you want to be the best fashion designer in your local government? Do you want to be the best fashion designer in Lagos? Do you want to be the best fashion designer in Nigeria? Do you want, and at when do you want to be the best fashion designer? Is it in 10 years time? Is it in 5 years time? Is it in 15 years time? A lot of times our vision is vague. So we don't tailor it to when we want to achieve that. If you're conversant with brands, you will notice that the Dangote brand has evolved. There was a time when there was cement and their logo, what they were advertising was different. Now, they talk about sustainability, they talk about diversity and all that, because Dangote brand has evolved from just selling cement and he's now selling a lot of things. He has even gone to tomato production, refinery and all that. So when the logo has changed, if you care to notice, their slogan too has changed. Same thing applies to Coca-Cola. The same Coca-Cola, if you go back to when they sold 25 bottles, their slogan was different. Their vision was different. Now, they are no longer just producing Coca-Cola. They are producing so many things. So you need to take your business from ground zero and build it structure by structure. You build it step by step till you get to the point where you can say, oh, we have come of age. We have come to the point where we can say, now Coca-Cola is competing against water. They're not competing against people. They're competing against water. You know, but before, I'm sure there were people that were competing against. They were probably competing against the juice industry, the other soft drink industry. But guess what? Other soft drink industry are no longer their competitors. They are now competing with water. So, okay, someone said, is it breaking at your end like mine? I don't know, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly, Chigozie, and I believe everyone else should be.
All right, so if you can hear me, please let me know in the chat box. If not, you can also let me know. So, after defining your vision, you define your mission statement. And your mission statement is an action-oriented statement. A lot of people confuse the vision and the mission statement and say, oh, my vision statement is to be so-so-so in the next so-so-so person, and then come to the mission statement and say to do that. You don't define your mission statement in the two, in the futuristic. You define it as a present continuous tense. So for instance, and I like to use mine as an example. So my mission statement says, we process edible nuts into healthy food products for middle income earners in order to promote healthy living in Africa. So first thing is, what are you doing? That is what your mission statement seeks to define. What are you doing? Number one. And so you say, we do so, and so. We process edible nuts into healthy food products. Who are you doing it for? You need to state that in your, you don't say, oh, we make clothes for, we make clothes. So we define the Nigerian woman and build her confidence. What you have said is that the clothes we are making, one, is for Nigerian women. So you need to define what you do, whom you do it for, why you are doing what you're doing. So we process edible nuts into healthy food products for middle income earners who are that's the who. Why? In order to promote healthy living. And we have tailored it to what? To Africa. So I hope everyone got that.
Yes.
I'll actually like to make it as interactive as possible. So, and the way I can do that is I can see your chats, so you can tell me, oh, if you're getting me. And somebody said it's breaking occasionally. Okay, so I'm going to repeat what I just said. Your mission statement defines what you are doing, whom you're doing it for, why you are doing what you're doing, and how you are different. So, and then you need to state who you're doing it for. You can't be making clothes for the world. You need to be making for certain people in a certain locality. You can't be producing food for the world because there are so many food production companies. So that's it. Somebody said I should take the vision part. Your vision should be futuristic. Your vision should show where you're going to. It should, and then you need to define your vision in 32 words or less. It doesn't make sense for your vision to be a full-blown page or for your vision to be a full-blown paragraph. Nothing more than 2 lines. If you cannot articulate what you are doing in 2 lines, maybe you need to go back to redefine. Sure. So let's move on from the mission part, and then in writing your business plan, one of the first things you should do, okay, so I would like to say there are about 10, for me, there are 10 chapters in a business plan. 9 actually. There are 9 chapters in the business plan. And there are the company description. Okay, so first you see the executive summary. Your executive summary is a summary of everything you've written. However, it should be the last thing you should write. So the first thing you should write is the last thing you should write is executive summary, but it's the first thing that your investors want to see. So you have the company description, you have your products and services, you have your industry analysis, you have your marketing plan, you have your SWOT analysis, your competitor analysis, you have your operational plan, you have your human strategy, and then you now have your financial plan. So 10, yeah. So 10. And now the company description. Okay, I'm too fast. You have executive summary. You have your company description. You have your products and your services. You have your industry analysis. You have your marketing plan. You have your SWOT analysis. You have your competitor analysis. And then you have your operational plan. I hope we're getting it. You have your operational plan. You have your human strategy, and you have your financial plan. So I go to company description. Now, company description is where you write an overview of your business, and that's where your vision comes. That's where you define your vision. That's where you define your mission statement. That is where you define your unique selling proposition. So your unique selling proposition tells us what makes you unique. What is that thing? Why should we buy from you? What value are you giving us? So you do your value proposition, your unique selling proposition, and then you talk about the CEO's profile or the founder's profile under your company description. So your founder's profile, this is where you write your own profile in the third person, in the third party tense. So you don't say, my name is Chigozie Bashua. You just say under your founder profile, that is where you describe or you tell us a brief about yourself in third party statements. So instead of saying my name is, you'd like, okay, so Chigozie Bashua is a, and you continue. So that's what comes under your company description. And after that, you go to your products and services. This is where you describe your products. You describe your services. What are you offering us? So if you have like 5 products and they come in 5 varieties, this is where you put them down one by one. Oh, I make tiger nut flour. It comes in, you describe it. This is what it does for people. It comes in 500 grams and 1 kilogram pack size, blah, 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 and all that. Now, you describe every product that you have. That is what happens in your products and your services. And this is to give whoever is reading it an opportunity to know what it is that you offer. I hope we got that right. Can we indicate? Right? Yeah. Okay. So, okay, fine. Okay, so we go to industry analysis, which is where, a lot of people get stuck, industry analysis. Now, you probably may not make a bit of sense to people if you do not know the industry you're in. So this is where your research comes into play. What are the prevailing factors in your industry? What has been? Okay, here, if your business is tailored to Nigeria, within the population of this country, how many people, take for instance, palm oil. We know that Nigeria used to be the first number 1 exporter of palm oil before. However, we dropped to number 4. So your ability to capture what has happened in the space where you are going to sell your product matters a lot. So say I'm in palm oil, I want to produce palm oil. And I discovered that, Nigeria used to be the first, used to rank as number 1 in exporting palm oil. However, because of certain reasons, which you will get from the internet, this is the reason why Nigeria has fallen to the 4th place. So you need to do that research. And there are sites where, if you go to Google can give you a lot of insight in your industry. Just type in, if you're into the fashion, you can say fashion business in Nigeria. It will bring up a couple of pages for you. You will be able to find out what exactly has happened in the fashion industry from time. You can go to proshareng.com. proshareng.com tells you what exactly, proshareng.com brings up some information. McKinsey tells you also, if you look at McKinsey articles, you can find something on your industry that is written about your industry. So there are so many. Euromonitor is also another site, although I think you pay for that one. But if you do search the internet, you can find out. So Euromonitor is EURO monitor.com. McKinsey is MCKINSEY. ProShare, there is ProShareNG.com. So ProShareNG.com also gives you insights, and then of course your friendly Google will tell you what it is you need to know. So you look at your industry drivers. This is the place where you describe, and when I talk about industry drivers are the reason why your sector is thriving. For instance, why is alcohol selling in Nigeria? We are a religious country, are we not? Yes. Whether you are Muslim, you're Christian, you're traditionalist, we are a Muslim country. However, with Nigerian breweries record sales year in, year out. The alcohol industry is booming. Why are they selling? That is the reason. So if you look at why they are selling, those are industry drivers. The industry drivers, these are the reasons why your business is still in existence. We could say alcohol is selling because it's a status thing. People want to, among the middle class, it is seen as a symbol of status, especially among the upcoming millennials. So people want to go to the club and be able to declare for their friends because it gives them a level of status. And again, you look at it, alcohol flows in parties, and Nigerians love parties. So that could be a reason why alcohol is selling in this country. Another thing, people want to run away from the realities of the economic situation in the country. That's why alcohol is selling. So when you look at your industry, go and find out why your industry is still, why your sector is still in existence. Why is the fashion industry booming? Because we're a fashion conscious people. Everybody wants to look good. Secondly, I bring it again, we love parties, and you want to look good when you're going for a party. So you find people spending as much as 100,000, 200,000 on one clothes. If you look at the AMVCA awards, you know, the clothes there, those clothes cost an arm and a leg. If you go to Topper FNR, her least clothes is 90,000 naira. The least dress she makes is 90,000 naira. Why is she selling out? Because people want to look good. So, and people love exclusive. We want the haute couture. So I want to make sure that I'm the only one wearing what I am wearing. And I don't want to see it everywhere. Maybe after I have worn it. Maybe after I've worn it, maybe 6 months down the line, you can start producing. But I don't want to see it on that day on 3 people. Okay, her name is Tope FNR. But she as I said, she makes clothes for 90,000 naira. But there are lots of other people too that make clothes. If you look at Toyin Lawani, that's what's her name? Tiana Empire. Tiana Empire, her clothes are expensive, but guess what? Celebrities go to her. She styles them. Swanky Jerry makes a lot of money. A lot of people. Look at the hair industry. Have you gone to Make Me? Make Me is in Surulere, but Make Me booms. There's no day you get to Make Me that the full building is not filled with women making their hair. And okay, CEO Lumini, yes, thousands of, exactly, for a dress. Why? People like the Oni's wife, the queen, patronize her. So, and you're asking, where is the money? The money is here. Diola Sego. They make a lot of money. Why? But you know what? Those guys have defined their targets. They're not looking for everybody. They have gone into their sector. They have looked at, why is our industry selling? We can bring Hollywood into Nigeria. So you find out that their clothes are exclusive for a particular set of people. My Atafo, I was listening in on my Atafo's Instagram live, and somebody asked him and said, people say your clothes are expensive. Now, what do you think about it? And he said, if anybody feels my clothes is expensive, that person is not my customer. Straight to the point. He's not looking for you. He's not looking for me. He's looking for the person that can afford to pay him a 200,000 naira for one suit. Look at the guy, the Ebukas Agbada, the period he wore that Agbada that he went viral. Ugo Moye, yes, Ugo Moye. Ugo Moye's Agbada is like 350 grand. You know, why is he selling? And why are people going there? Why? Because they say it's Agbada that went to Harvard. His Agbada went to Harvard. So you see people every day try to reinvent themselves and try to reinvent their businesses because why? They have studied the industry, they have studied the Nigerian market, and they have tailored it to what they want it, to what it is that is they know what Nigerians want, and they're giving it to them. So you do your industry analysis, describe your industry drivers, so that any day you start doubting yourself, you go back to why your sector is selling. When you have read it, you will fall back in line. Now we go to the marketing plan, and your marketing plan is what brings in your revenue. How are you going to market your goods? If you are winking in the dark, I won't know you are winking. And so how are you going to sell? How do you intend? Are you going to sell through social media? Are you going to have a website? Are you going to use influencers? I normally don't advise small businesses to use influencers because guess what? By the time you pay 100,000 or 550,000 for one post, you may not be able to cover your revenue. So you need to be able to grow your business organically. When you get to the point when you can pay brand influencers, yes, by all means, pay them. However, you must build in certain things like your technology. Now, I'm glad we're in the times when people know that if your business is not online, if your business is not digital, you are missing out. Right now, a lot of people are selling via digital means because shops are not open, you know. So if you're into food business and you are still waiting for people to call you, no, they don't have to call you. Do you have a simple website where they can check you out? Are you selling on your social media handles? Are you selling on third-party platforms like Jumia? How are you selling your products? So those are the things you need to define in your marketing plan. Define how you're going to sell. How do you deliver your products? So define your delivery channels. Your delivery channels is how your customers will come in contact with your brand. Are you going to see your customers? Are they going to come in contact with your brands through fairs and exhibitions? Are they going to come in contact with you through your adverts, through social media, through your website? Are you going through Google ads and the SEOs and your marketing, digital marketing? How? You need to define it there. Are you going to supply supermarkets? Are you a manufacturer? Are you going to do B&B? Are you in a distributorship line model? You need to define your model, your revenue model. Are you doing a distributorship model? Are you a retailer? So those are the things you need to define. And if you're in IT or you're running a pay video on demand or something, are people going to subscribe to your plan? Or maybe you have a food plan. Are people going to use the subscription plan? Is that how you're going to do it? You need to define it in your marketing plan. Now we go to SWOT analysis. And SWOT means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You need to ask yourself, what are my strengths? What are the strengths of my business? What am I good at? What have we done that makes us strong? Is it in our adverts? Is it in our structure? Is it in our distributorship? What is it that we have done that we can say as a brand, we are strong? Is it in our delivery? Are we very fast when it comes to delivery? Is it in our customer service? How are we strong? You need to define that. And then your weaknesses, say, what is it that we are not doing well? So you need to define for yourself what you are not doing well. And you are the only one that can do that. Are you weak? Is your brand, do you have a weak brand? You know, a lot of small businesses have that. You know, we can't define what our business, what our color code is. What's your color code? When people see yellow, they think about MTN. When people see green, they think about Glow. When you see the orange, you see a Bank. When you think of when you see red, you think about Airtel. You know, how are you defining your brand? Is your brand weak? Sometimes you might think that I'm too small to define my brand. But guess what? If you don't define your brand when you're small, when you start growing, you will be brandless and people will not know you. People start identifying brands when they are small. And so those that will follow you till you become a big brand. So you need to define what font size will I be using when I'm sending out my letters. What font, what is the exact font that I want to be using? And you must communicate that to your staff. How do we want to send out our letters? How do we want to put our letterhead? You know, those are the little things that you need to define. When you want to send out a letter to a company, are you sending it out without logo? Are you sending out without identity? Are you sending out without a letterhead? How do you want to do that? Because those are the things that show that you're serious or you are loafing. Anyways, some people are that finicky. So you need to define those tiny details. What are you weak at? So those are the things you need to put under weaknesses. When you get to the opportunities, you ask yourself, what are other people leaving on the table for me to pick up? How will my business grow? So I give you an example. I turn edible nuts into healthy food products. However, my business has the capacity to, in the near future, start making groundnut oil. It is an opportunity. We have the capacity to produce. As we grow, we need to get to the point where we can start producing. Our byproducts can make paints. It's an opportunity. And so it's an opportunity that we have to keep in sight. So your business, what are the opportunities that you have seen? If you sell crude oil, or rather, if you sell crude palm oil only, maybe your business sells only palm oil. Do you know you have the opportunity to make palm kernel oil? Do you know that this palm kernel oil you have the opportunity to sell to the cosmetic industry? Do you know you stand the chance of making palm kernel cake for animal feeding? Do you know that you stand the chance of making hydrocarbonated products that you can use for margarine, for your butter and all that? Those are opportunities that you need to identify and then keep them in sight so that as your business grows, you will know what to do. Now, what are the threats to my business? What are the threats to my business? You need to identify government policies. What bad government policies can kill my business? Lack of electricity is a threat to your business. SWOT means strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So what is a threat to your business? You need to identify it. Is it lack of funding? If lack of funding is a threat to your business, you need to put it there. If lack of electricity is a threat to everybody's business. We need Nigeria. It like never before. Yeah, in Nigeria. So infrastructure, lack of infrastructure is a threat to our business. NAFDAC, the bureaucracies in NAFDAC is a threat to your business, yes. Because I tell you a story. So when I was going to get my NAFDAC for my products, I thought I was going to do that in just about 3 months. It took me 8 months to get my NAFDAC. Why? Because we had one issue or the other. There was just one issue or the other. And then, the money. So they tell you, oh, it could be, now things are easier, but then, I spent quite a lot of money just getting those NAFDAC numbers. So it was a threat to my business because he almost sank it. He almost sank my business. So you can imagine if at that point I had taken a loan. and say, oh, when I get my NAFDAC, I'll just, supply supermarkets, they'll pay me my money and I will pay them back. My business would have gone under. So that's another thing that benefits of having a business plan. Your business plan tells you if you're to take a loan or not. Sometimes, you need to know what kind of funding is good for your business. At that point, when you start, is it a loan that is good for your business at the startup point? No. Do you want to raise money from family and friends? Do you want to raise money by getting grants? So those are the things that your business plan shows you. So let's run through, our time is almost, let's run through the rest. After the marketing plan, after the SWOT analysis, you go to your competitors. So you need to be able to analyze your competition. Nobody should say, I don't have competition. Everyone has competition. You either have direct or indirect competition. Coca-Cola at a point had Pepsi as a competitor. Now, coffee and tea are indirect competitors. Because why? They are targeting the same people, but different tastes. McDonald's and Pizza Hut are different people. They are targeting indirect competitors. McDonald's targets people that are hungry. Pizza Hut targets people that are hungry. The only thing is that they target people at different states of their lives and different tastes. So you need to be able to say, oh, this is my direct competitor. This is my indirect competitor. DHL and FedEx are direct competitors. So you need to be able to analyze your competitor and then be able to write your competitive advantage. How are you better than your competitors? Is your website better than them? You need to analyze that. Analyze, is their pricing better than yours or is your pricing better than them? You need to analyze that. Is your packaging better than theirs? Is your customer service better than theirs or theirs is better than yours? Whatever it is that you do better than them is your competitive advantage and you need to state it in your business plan. Now we run to your operational plan, and your operational plan is your day-to-day activities. You need, in your operational plan, you state the machines you're using or that you need. You state this is where your processes and your procedures come into play. You need to be able to state your process, the making of your business. You need to be able to write your process, and that is where your business structure comes into play. Now, I'd like to explain a little bit about business structure. Business structure is the ability, is the capacity for your business to run without you. There are some people that if they are not there, their businesses will not run. Why? Because staff don't know what to do. They don't know how to make the products. They don't know. So what you should do is you should have a process line for your products. So much more that all they need to do is, we know, and guess what? Your process line will make sure that you have the same output. We shouldn't be, and it's something that has to happen over time. So at the beginning of when I started business, at the beginning, we will produce today and people will say it's fine. Then tomorrow people will say, no, the taste was different. Why? Because then we didn't have a process. But guess what? The moment we had our SOPs, yes, thank you, Simi. The moment we had SOPs, the moment we had our processes. So everybody knows that you add A before you add B. And I don't want to know where you're coming from. Maybe in your former companies, you were adding B before A. However, let us test your B before A before we can say it's a process. But since we've tested A before B, please follow our process until we are able to verify that adding B before A can make it better. So that is what you should do. And those are the things you should put in your operational plan and define what does what, who does what. What are the certifications you need for your business do you need NAFDAC? Do you need SON? Do you need export license? What is it that you need? You need to state it there. Now we get to your human strategy. Who do you need to run your business? And what qualifications do you need? At that point, you define the qualifications you need, their job descriptions, the roles they play, the amount you want to pay them, the benefits to them they accrue. You shouldn't run a business that is unfair. I don't believe in an unfair advantage. You shouldn't take advantage of people. If you run a business, get to the point where you are able to tell people that if you have been with us for 5 years, this is what you get. It may not be much, but guess what? As you grow, that is how to retain that's how to retain employees. Because you find out that a lot of people don't want to work for small businesses because they don't get anything. Salaries are not paid on time. You know, if you know that you pay on the 31st of each month, please maintain it on the 31st of each month. And guess what? Don't take a salary until all your employees have taken a salary. So that's what happens as a rule of thumb for me. So until they take a salary, I don't even take a salary from the business anyways. So if you know that your business pays on the 30th of every month, please ensure that it does not get to the 10th of the next month. Now, after your business strategy, you get to your financial plan. This is where you state what it is, your cost of production. This is where you state the volume you have to sell to be able to make a profit. And then you have the financial plan, that is the Excel sheet that shows you what your product is, your operational plan, what you spend on operations. So when you state your operation, the amount you spend per month, and after you have taken away your revenue, your cost of production, from your revenue, if your revenue cannot fund your operational plan, you are running at a loss. And guess what? You won't break even in the first year, except if you're doing only buying and selling and you do not have an operation. You don't have anything that has to do with operations. You don't pay rent, you don't pay electricity, you don't pay utility, you don't pay anything, you don't pay tax, you don't pay. See, if you're running a proper business and a proper structured business, at the beginning of your business, you may not break even. And I use may because some people might break even, but you may not break even. Now, a lot of people on social media put out a lot of junk and say, oh, if your business has not broken even in the first 12 months, you're a failure. No. Your business may not break even. You may not break even in the first year because you are still trying to stand. I don't know if you know this company, Delta Afrique, that's in Lagos, Lekki Roundabout, the third one that has the Bay Atlantic. I think it's the tallest building on the Freedom Way. So there was a day I was listening to the owner, and the owner said that the first 5 years of their business, they didn't get a single project to execute. And guess what? He was paying staff. So if he had given up before 5 years, guess what? There will be no Delta Afrique. That building will not exist. But the tenacity to consistently run, even when against all odds, even when people are telling you, no, you must be a failure, something, is how you will grow your business. And how will you do it? If you have a plan in sight, you will not be tossed by every wind that passes you. Some people, when they say it's A that is working, everybody flows to A. When they say it's B that is working, everybody flows to B. It's not everybody that you listen to. And I say this with all due respect. I don't listen to everybody. And the reason is because some people do not know what they're talking about. And the reason why they don't know what they're talking about is they are not on ground. They don't have the experience. So it's easy for anybody to say, no, if you have not broken even in the first 2 years, you're a failure. That's paper theory. It is a paper theory. Some businesses break even in their 5th year. Some businesses break even in their 10th year, especially if you're in the manufacturing industry. So I need you to take note of that. So I was talking about revenue, and I said that if you calculate your operations for the month how much it costs you to run your business for the month. And you remove your cost of production from your revenue and remove the cost of your cost of production and cost of operation from your revenue. If your revenue can cover it, oh, by all means, you are good to go. If you're in the negative, it means your business is running at a loss. But guess what? The fact that you are running at a loss should not stop you from running your business. What it means is that you should go back and ask, how can we measure up to the point where we can break even? And then you work towards it. So, and then after writing all this, you now come to the executive summary. Your executive summary is a summary of every single thing that you have written in your business plan. So you take a highlight of each chapter and put it in your executive summary. So that is what your executive, and it's your executive summary that your investor will first read before the rest. At best, do not make your executive summary more than 2 pages. If you can keep it at 1 page, fine. If you cannot keep it at a page, please let it not exceed 2 pages. And that is all about having a business plan. There is more to it, but yeah, we don't have time. So we need to just...
Thank you so much, Chigozie. Thank you. That was detailed as it could get within 1 hour. Thank you so much. I like some things that she said, and I'd like to highlight it for our participants. Entrepreneurship is a journey. You heard when she said she started from 2012. Some of us want to start business today and they want to hammer in 1 year. A business that will stand the test of time will not do that. If you want a business that will stand the test of time, it takes years. Indomie, when I was reading their story, they said they didn't break even in 10 years. And that's, you would not expect it. Just see how big they are. So a business that will stand the test of time takes a long while. Secondly, an entrepreneur needs to identify the pains in the market. See how she talked about how she identified the fact that people who had good businesses were not able to articulate it. And then she started her business called the CB Business Planning School. So you need to understand what the pains are. If you're not solving a pain for your customers, or you're not giving them a gain that will make them look good or feel better, then you're not in business. So I like those 2 parts, and I just thought to re-emphasize it. And the third thing I also want to emphasize is that you need to put in the work. Entrepreneurship is not easy. And all the mentors, and that's why we're bringing mentors who have hands-on experience. We're not looking for people who will give you textbook answers. There are people who have been there, they've done that, and they have some shirts to show for it. So it's not, you need to put in the work. You need to put in the hard, long, and dirty work. Thank you so much, Chigozie. Let's go straight into the questions. If you had sent in questions before, please resend them. I missed the first 2 questions because of internet connectivity. So we have 2 questions from Yinka Olajide. And first question is this: is economical downtime a threat to business? And how do you fortify your business against it?
Okay, so economic downtime is vague, to be quite frank.
That's okay.
And it is a threat to business. However, the question you should ask is, during the economic downtime, are all businesses down, or are there ways we can at least maximize some opportunities? And I tell you, in the times that we are in, there is an economic downtime everywhere. Businesses are not open. People are at home. Salaries are being cut. Some people have not even made a dime this month. However, there is a clause to it. Some people are still selling. So, question is, how are they selling? So we must always be at the point where we always strategize. And I like to say this about a business plan. A business plan is not a dead document. It's not a document that you write and you dump it. You see, the problem is a lot of us do not ever go back to our businesses, our business plans to update it. I update my business plan every month because our economy is dynamic. What is working this month might be different from what is working the next month. If I don't do that in the month, it means that every other month I have to do something. Guess what? Nobody foresaw that COVID was going to come. However, COVID came and all of us are at home. But are people selling online? Yes. So my products have been on Jumia, and fine, we were making sales on Jumia, but we're not making more sales delivering to supermarkets and all that. However, when this thing was going to happen, we went around the supermarkets and we said, oh, let us stock for you because we don't know what's going to happen. So of course, those that said yes, we stocked up for them. And then on our social media page, we started redirecting people to buy from Jumia. Now, Jumia can deliver to them. We can move around, but Jumia can. So the thing is, getting your staff to get to work. Can we make, the question was, can we make plans for them to stay so that they can work from the factory? And we make provision for them. And then if they need to deliver to Jumia, where is the nearest Jumia that we can deliver to? So we have one close to us. So what happens is you make a booking, we deliver to you, Jumia does the rest. They take their commission and we get ours. So any business that is not strategically positioned on the digital space right now is going to die off. And I give you a real life scenario. I don't know how many people know Primark in the UK. So Primark was an 800 million pounds business. Guess what? They did not have a channel to sell online. Primark always sells physically. If you have to buy anything from Primark, you must go there to buy. 2 years ago, I was discussing this with someone. I said, why must we go to Primark? Why must we always enter Primark whenever we travel? Why can't we have to buy online like the Next and the Zara and the rest of them that you can buy online? TJ Maxx and they said, no, Primark has a lot of, they're looking for low-ended people. Primark has a lot of people. But guess what? Primark's, and outside the country, they went on lockdown before we did. Primark has not made a dime since the lockdown because clothing, nobody's going to shop right now. But does it mean they don't wear clothes? They wear. But they cannot go to Primark. So Primark is at £0 right now. And that is an example of a big franchise, a big brand that refused to change with the times. So you must build your business in such a way that you must change with the times. Our churches, and I give you an example, our churches, we were going to church, right? Then they shut down churches and they shut down mosques. But guess what? The churches that never had online platforms found it very difficult. Why? Because they couldn't reach members. They couldn't reach members. Everyone was now having online churches, online church services. So if you're still doing business and you do not have an outlet online, you need to re-strategize. It doesn't take much to have a simple website. In fact, you can build yourself a website. a simple website, you can build it. It doesn't have to be that tech. Before you get to the technical part, you can build yourself a simple website where you can even use a landing page where you can get people to go to, just direct people to go and buy from them. Or if you have products, list it on Jumia. They make it easier for you, or Konga, or one of those outlets. They make it easier for you. So in these times when there are economic downtimes, you need to re-strategize. We can't come to the end of the road. We can't have said that, oh, our business is shutting down because we can't see a silver lining. There is always a silver lining. And that is the mark of a true entrepreneur. You need to, I like what somebody said. Someone said, you need to grow to be a business person. A business person doesn't come on you. It's not a mantle that comes on you. You need to sit down and always have your thinking cap on. How are we going to re-strategize in the event of anything happening? So in the economic downtime, it is a threat, but guess what? It's not a threat that we cannot rise above. It's a threat that we have to confront, because this is our new normal. What if they tell us to stay at home 1 more month? What will happen to us? There has to be a way. So, okay. Did I answer that?
Yes, that's fantastic. And I mean, just to say, and what Simsola in the chat box said that she's made more money during this period that she's done from January to March, just because she focused on the needs that people had. So that's just to buffer your points. Okay, so we have a number of questions. I'm just going to ask the questions that I feel Chigozie herself needs to answer. All the other questions that I can answer, I would provide answers to. Okay, so there's a question from Chianugo Okonko. Did you still have your 9-to-5 job whilst running the North Place? I'm facing same challenge. I'm thinking whether to quit my 9-to-5 and face business fully.
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. I actually forgot to say that, because I normally say it whenever I have to speak to people. Don't quit your 9-to-5. So, ask me why I said don't quit your 9-to-5. I still work a job. Don't ask me how it happened or how I'm able to. But have you heard of time management? It works. It works. I still work a 9-to-5. It's not was I working? I have not been out of my job. I never wrote my resignation letter. And I'll tell you why. Your salary has the capacity to pay for certain things that your business cannot afford to pay at the moment. So guess why I'm working? I'm not working because I cannot totally face my business. I am working because there is something I want to achieve. And most likely, if the banks don't answer me on time, my salary can suffice for it so that my business does not suffer. Before I get investors, guess what? Investors may not come into your business immediately. And nobody wants to invest in a business that they don't know where it's going to. So you must have built your business to a point before you start asking investors to come. And I don't always tell people I tell people don't invite investors when you don't have mouth. If investors take 50% of your business, they've taken over your business. And a lot of people make that mistake. They have a business idea. The next thing, they've resigned. And then something happens and they don't have money and they're cash trapped. Do not resign your business. Is your business able to pay your current salary? No. So why are you resigning? Why don't you put structure in place so that your business can run? So here is what I did. Let me give you a practical example of what I did. So when I started, I took some leave days. So sometimes, so I knew I had some leave days, so I'll take like a week, and then I'll put in like maybe, so I structured my leave days in such a way that I take like 3 days, maybe in 3 weeks. In that 3 days, I get to my factory, I train, I show them, I showed everybody we produce according to SOPs. So within that 3 days, what I will not be able to make up for in the next 27 days, they will get it then. And then I go back to my work. And then I run. From day one, I make sure that we run our business by online, phone, however we want to run it. But if I am needed somewhere, I take a leave day. So I broke down my leave days in months. So instead of having 21 days in 1 month, I put in, maybe I tell my HR, oh, I want to take 3 days in January. I want to take 4 days in June. Do you understand? So I do it in such a way. So when I now knew that, oh, my people could run for 3 months and they won't see me, I did hallelujah. It doesn't mean I cannot barge into them at some point. Oh, I barge into them. So sometimes they don't know I'm coming. So I do a quick one. Sometimes I do a 360. I get to the factory and I look at so I tell you, there was a staff I employed, and because I wasn't coming every day, he felt he could do whatever. So one day, I just went during my break time. I don't know, something just told me, get to the factory first. So instead of me going for lunch, I don't know how I did it, but I just did straight to the office. So I drove straight to the factory, and I saw someone dancing, with loud music, and he was having fun. Guess what? My coconut flakes got burnt, and he was dancing. That was the end. So that was the last day I sacked him. Because what he meant was that was what he was doing, and I made sure he paid for it. So I deducted the value of my burnt coconut flakes and I gave it to him. I said, you can take it home. That is your whatever. So I'm not saying you're going to have your hands, you're going to have a bit of 1 or 2 issues here and there, but keep at it. The guy that manages my office right now is God sent. When I mean God sent, he is God sent. So since that guy came, he made a few mistakes and I put him, this is how you do it. This is our culture. This is what we expect. But since he got a grasp of it, I can go to sleep. As in, I've not been to the factory in months and business is running. The only thing I do is I open our online financial management books. I open the Jumia online to see what orders we have, what is happening, if they've shipped. Open our mails to see the mails that are dropping. If there are complaints that need my attention, I attend to it. Maybe there's a customer that says, oh, I must speak to your madam, else I'm going. I will talk to the person. Do you understand? So I can focus on other things. It wasn't easy, but we got there. So from time to time, I send him back. So we have a book where we have written out all our production processes. So from time to time, I take them back to that book and I tell them, go back to that book, read it, and tell me what you got from it. So they go back from time to time, read it, and say, oh, this is what we're going to do. Why am I doing that? It's not because they are not adults. It's because I do not want them to forget for a single time what they are supposed to do. I don't want them to say it's because I forgot. That's why I made a mistake. And then I send them for training. So a lot of small businesses don't train their staff because they think staff is going to run away. That's why they're not training them. Guess what? You can either decide to keep them and they will do rubbish, or you train them and they will leave. Take your own. But I will train. If you decide to leave, it's fine. But in training them customer service, they know how to attend to your customers. In training them for work, they know what to do. So, but the first thing you must do is you must know your job also. So that you don't go and employ someone and say, oh, I'm leaving production for them. Then when they go, you cannot do anything yourself. You must be able to do the work you're telling them to do. You must be able to do it yourself. And seek to automate your processes. It won't be easy. So at first, our coconut flakes was done manually until we got to a point where we got some funds. And I said, you know what? We must buy coconut shredder. So it makes it easy. So as easy as you must ensure that your processes become easier so that you can also optimize production and your time also. So yes, don't resign. Use time management. Sometimes I forget a lot of things. So at the beginning of each day, I have a jotter. I utilize Evernote on my phone, and anything that comes to my head at the beginning of the day, I write it down. As simple as buy meat today, buy call so and so person. I put it down in my to-do list. Why? Because there's a tendency for me to forget because I have a lot on my plate. Remember, you are dealing with your 9 to 5 and you are dealing with your business. So I write out what I have to tell them to do that day. I write out what they have to achieve. So once I get to my office and I'm in the car park, I call and I send the messages and I say, oh, for today, this is our achievable. I send to the office manager, I tell him, this is what I want you to achieve. So he cascades down and tell any other person he needs to tell but he is the one I have held accountable. This is what I want you to achieve. That way I can remove my mind on the mundane things and then look at what is truly important. During my break, I check in on them. At the end of the day, I check back. So I did not quit my 9 to 5 and I still haven't quit my 9 to 5. Maybe by the end of the year, I will quit. But for now, until you see my product in the airport, then I can quit. But for now, I haven't quit.
All right, then thanks, Chigozie. Let's just take 2 quick questions to see that people are leaving. Okay, so someone asked about, and she wants to go into nutritional products, and she's asking how do you get in, or healthy products, sorry. She's saying, how do you get the nutritional value? I'm looking for the question. How do you get the nutritional value in your products?
So you can go to a lab. We have food labs, in Nigeria. Before you do your NAFDAC must tell you to go and do a laboratory test. And that laboratory test will give you exactly what the contents of your products. And then if you now want to do your labeling, you can go online and get a label generator online. And then you can now put in all these things. You can find them online. See, do your research. There are lots of things. There is online label generator. Once you type in online label generator, it will come up. Always use what you have. Always use the internet. When you have done your lab tests and they tell you what it contains, go online. Trust me, somebody outside the country has done it for you. All you need to do is utilize what they've done for you. And then you can tailor it to what you have. So they have done it, and all you need to do is to put in your values. And that's it.
Okay. All right. So, thank you. So this will be our final question. Chigozie, I don't know if it's okay by you. We'll take all the outstanding questions. We'll send it to you by email for you to provide a response. Would that be fine by you?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so we'll just take one more question. Okay, so okay, no, anonymous. I'm not. And ladies, I'm not going to answer any anonymous questions. We need to know who is asking a question. Okay, so for a fashion designer that designs basically, so this question is from Nwasike Chineye. For a fashion designer that designs basically for women, like CEO Lumini and the rest of them, who would you say are their competitors, their fellow designers or female wear importers? Should I take the question again?
You design for who?
Okay, so she's saying for fashion designers that design for women specifically. Who would you say are their competitors? Other designers for women alone, or people who import female clothing?
All of them are.
My thoughts exactly too.
The person that designs, is your competitor. Direct. The people that import are your competitors too. So, but however, everybody is on a category. What kind of clothes do you design? Are you ready to wear? If you're ready to wear, yes, the people that import. If you don't have ready to wear, then the people that import are not really your direct customers.
All right then. Thank you so much. Yeah,
that made a lot of sense. So, okay. So on that note, please, if you have any question, maybe
we'll
can
put it and send to you. Yes.
And then send to me. And also, you can follow me on Instagram. Some of the questions there, I actually answer them on my posts, and answer in the comments and in the DM. So you can follow me on Instagram at Chigozie Bashua, and I answer those questions. But thank you very much for having me.
Chigozie, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much. I mean, what I like most is the passion with which you're sharing your experience, and it's hard experience. There's no textbook anything. And I like the point, the fact that you mentioned about Primark also, because I'd always wondered, that when will these people, and I thought it's something they would have done by now, but it's strange to see that, they got caught in the bug. Thank you so much.
On a final note, there's something I just remember that I want to put out there.
Okay.
Is please don't stop applying for funding.
Okay.
A lot of people apply for funding, and once they don't get it the first time, they stop. Please don't stop applying for funding. If you don't get it the first time and you don't get it the second time, you might get it the third time. And you need funding for your business, because it's not every time that that family and friends give you money, and it's not all the time that you go to the bank to borrow money, because if you borrow all the time, you will kill your business. So please don't stop applying for grants. So on that note, thank you.
Thank you so much, Chigozie. You can see the chats. People are excited. The ladies are appreciative for your time. We are really, really, and ladies, she charges for to enjoy the rest of your day.
And you too, bye.
Bye.